Hey there guys, how's it going? It's Ben here from GameRVW.com, and today we're going to give you the lowdown of Tsioque. Hopefully if the guys who made the game do watch this video, they are happy with my pronunciation. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe I did pronounce it correctly. I believe it is Tsioque. It says it rhymes with rock on the website, and I've heard it said. I'm pretty sure that is correct, so hopefully they'll be happy with that. One of my colleagues, one of our writers, excellent writer we have on the staff despite being American, by the name of Brandon Key, has actually written a full written review of this on our main website. There'll be a link to that in the description of the video, so if you want to check that out, please do. It would firstly help out him and the website, and it'll give you a bit more of a kind of written, kind of detailed analysis of the game. But I'm going to show off a bit of gameplay footage today. I'm going to show you how the game works and give a few of my thoughts on it as well. So I think this is a really interesting title you should take a look at. This is available on Steam. Again, the link to that is in the description of the video. So basically, this is a kind of dark fantasy, kind of dark setting, dark kind of fantasy medieval setting. However, it has kind of light-hearted and kind of casual humour thrown in there as well. So kind of dark setting with kind of light humour just to kind of twist it a bit, which is quite a nice little quirky way of playing it. It makes the game really interesting. So you play as Tsioque, who is the daughter of, the narrator describes it as the Good Queen. Basically, while she is off with her army, she's off to fight off a great beast, I believe it says. The wizard, he's just simply known as the wizard, tries to take over your castle, has you imprisoned, and has all his goons basically take over the castle while he plots his, well, he plots his plots, I suppose. He plots his schemes his plots, whatever you want to call it. And you have to break out of prison, and then you have to progress from there to go through the story of the game. So the story kind of unravels as you go. It just basically, you start in prison, you have to break out, and the game doesn't kind of just go immediately, right, you need to do this exact thing. You will go through the game and you'll spontaneously work out what it is you need to do to try and reclaim, defeat the wizard and reclaim kind of your family's castle. So I'm going to jump into the video now, have a brief cut, and we'll cut straight to the gameplay. So this is with a bit of pre-recorded footage that I made. I didn't want to play this live just in case it got stuck on a particular puzzle. I didn't want to have all these constant cuts or just a lot of kind of video downtime where I'm not really doing anything or showing off about the game. So I pre-recorded this footage, and I think this area is a nice little place to start. So that courtyard had all these places to go. I went to the camp, and the camp I think is a really good way of showing off how this game works and its kind of little quirks. So this is the area. Anytime I try to click on anything other than the thing I could click on, which you'll see in a moment, my character, you can see, tries to get up, then immediately jumps back down. So it's obvious that if I try and do anything, the guards are going to see me. So I realise kind of what I need to get past these guards. So I've got to find a way to take these guys out. And so this is kind of a cool, interesting way of how the game works. There's no just overall objective. You start the game, you know, you're in a prison. It's obvious you have to break out of it. You get the overarching plot of the wizard has taken over kind of the kingdom while your mother, the queen, has kind of gone out to war. Wizard's taken over with all these minions. You've broken out. The game doesn't just go, right, you need to go here and do this exact thing. You go to different areas, you work out what it is you want to do, what it is you need to do, without being kind of it having hold your hand. But at the same time, it's not holding your hand, but it doesn't ever feel overly difficult or really kind of unobvious what it is you need to do. You just go to a new area, you sort of see how the environment works, and you kind of work out just by seeing things and trying things out what it is you actually need to do, which is quite nice. I like not having a you need to go to this place and do this thing. You get to work out what it is you need to do in each area, which is quite nice. So in this area I've worked out these two guards firing their crossbows at each other. Looks like they're having a bit of a contest. And you can see the bigger guy on the left was winning. However, I've realised I can move around these targets, and you can see them chalking up their score on that little scoreboard on the torch. And so the smaller guy is going to miss. However, if I intervene with his target, that's then going to cause him to hit. So if I don't intervene, the big guy is just going to keep winning. However, he is now chalking up points for himself, and you can see the big guy was not happy about that. So if I keep messing up his shot, he gets more and more annoyed every time he misses, and the smaller guy manages to land his shots. So if I keep timing these correctly, I think this is going to cause an interaction that is going to let us go past. So he now hit that shot thanks to my interaction that he normally would have missed. He's chalked up another point for himself. And then if we just leave it a little bit longer, one more might do it. Yeah, I got a little achievement. He just knocks the guy out of the way. It's got an immense amount of charm, this game. It is really fun. It's got kind of a slight dark story. It's a dark storyline, but it's also it's kind of a dark in a humorous way, I suppose. It's got a lot of quirk and a lot of charm to it. So there isn't much voice acting in the game. The main wizard, the kind of narrator, is obviously voice acted. He reads out the kind of poetic narrations that you get occasionally. And you get the main wizard as well when you see him. He is voice acted as well. All his goons are not. So you just see them sort of speaking kind of gibberish. You won't actually be saying anything. See, I tried to grab this piece of armour. This guy woke up and I've been caught. And I did not need to cut the video there. That is just straight. The transition was immediate. I haven't had to cut the video there at any point, because that's how the fairy states work in this game, which I'm really pleased about how they work. Basically, if you fail at anything, you just have a little animation there of you being caught, and then it just reverts right back to where you were, so you can try something else, which is really nice. You don't think, or you don't feel that you can't try stuff because you don't want to mess up and then go, right, I messed up, I'm going to have to go back to my last save point, wherever that was, and do some stuff again. You can try stuff out. It gives you the opportunity to experiment. If whatever you do doesn't work, okay, fine, you get caught, you try it again. You get as many times as you like to try again. There's no checkpoint, there's no limited reload, no limited saves. It saves after you do everything. If you get something wrong, you go right back to where you were. And it also gives you the opportunity for some quite amusing fairy states as well. You might try something that in a lot of games would be like, no, you can't interact with that, but you'll try and do it, you'll have quite an amusing failure, and you'll just revert right back to where you were, which is, I think, a really nice way of doing things, because it doesn't punish you for wanting to try things out. And if you do mess up, it's often quite funny, and at the very least, if it's not, you just failed, you go right back to where you were, you can try something else, and eventually you are going to work out what it is you need to do. So here's an example here. Try to climb back down the ladder. That's not going to work. So just go straight back to where I was, and I've realised I need to jump through this hole onto this blacksmith's bellows. So I'm going to jump straight down there. That is obviously going to heat up the helmet that is just over that kind of fire. It's going to heat up, so I'm not going to be able to pick that up immediately, so I'm going to have to think of something. So I think I tried here, the gloves I picked up in my backpack. You can pick up your backpack in the bottom right hand corner. If you just click on that, it's going to open. So I tried using the gloves I picked up to pick up the helmet, because I thought it was quite hot. Maybe the gloves, I'll put the gloves on and that will try that. That didn't work, so I put those away. Didn't have an opportunity to use a spider web I had earlier, so you will hold on to some items for a little bit longer than others. Some you'll use immediately and they'll run out. Some you will hold on for a bit longer. And so I know I tried to pick up that breastplate. If I try that again, that's not going to work. So I tried to pick up the chainmail vest in the bottom left. And it looks like that didn't work either. So I tried to pick it up. No one's going to stop me. However, I can't actually fit that in my backpack. So maybe that is an interactable item, but maybe I might need to try something else to actually get hold of that. That's not going to work for me. So if I pick up a weapon, stuff like this, I fall over and get caught. But the game didn't have to include stuff like that. It could just be a case if you click on it and it goes, no, she'll shake her head. If you can't interact with something, it should just shake her head. But it just done that, but it goes, no, let's see what happens. She picks it up, falls over, and she wakes everyone up. But then it goes straight back to where you were, so it just adds a lot of charm to the game. It just adds, it's these sort of things you don't need to add in, but it does just to add to the character, and it adds to the amusement factor. It's a very charming, quirky game to play, and it's not a thing you see in a lot of titles. So in this case, I think I got a bit lucky here. I just clicked onto it just to see what would happen, but this is going to stop. I think people watching the video may have worked this out already. Probably, there's always people screaming at people playing puzzle games and they can't work them out. So I managed to keep a hold of that. Unfortunately, this is too big as well. So it looks like I want to come back for these pieces of armour, but I'm not going to be able to pick them up yet. So I might come back. I'll go to a different area. I can always come back here once maybe I've got a different item. And it's probably a good place to cut and go to a different area that I went to as well. So this is a bit where I stepped into the sewing room, because I just wanted to show this reference, because it's just a really nice little quirky reference for anyone who likes Sleeping Beauty. I thought that was just a really nice touch to add into the game, and I just wanted to include it in the video just to show sort of just what this game is like and just how interesting it can be. So just a little touch I wanted to include there. So there wasn't much else in this room, so I believe I found this kind of little armoury stand. The table didn't have anything on it, but I just mainly wanted to show this room just to show off that cool little reference, because I thought that was just a really nice touch to include, and I imagine the game is going to show me many other things a bit like that. So I went over to this sort of armoury stand, and basically I managed to work out I was trying to fit certain bits of the armour on there. It was a fairly obvious solution. You can see on the right there's the picture of that on, and you can recognise the helmet, the breastplate, the gloves, and the chainmail vest from earlier. So it looks like fairly obvious in this case that I need to try and get hold of these pieces and put them here. The gloves I have, however, the game also has the decency to tell you I might actually need these a bit later, so I decided to keep them a bit longer. So it looks like I'm going to try and get those armour pieces. That's going to be my main objective, I think, for the moment, until something else comes up. So we can cut to a different portion of the map just to make things a bit more interesting. So I'll just give you my closing thoughts. This will be the last area I show, just to kind of not make the video too long and to not spoil a bit too much of the story. Not a whole lot happened in this area, but it was still fun to play through. So my final thoughts, one thing I want to talk about with puzzle games, a lot of people, me included, when you play a puzzle game, often you'll get to a situation where you've tried everything you can think of and the solution turns out to be very complicated or very subtle or very unorthodox, or you get frustrated thinking, you look at a walkthrough and go, how the hell was I meant to know that was it? That was a really unfair, I think, overly obscure solution that a lot of people maybe have to look up. I never felt I encountered that in this game. All the solutions that I came across either felt obvious enough that it didn't take me, they weren't sort of blatant, but they weren't so difficult that it didn't take me too long to think about. Or some of the ones where you may have to take several attempts. It's fine taking several attempts because you've got as many attempts as you like and you've got as much time as you like, but I never felt that I was sitting around for ages going, what the hell do I do here, and just sitting there getting frustrated and bored because I couldn't work out what to do. Every solution was either logical enough that I was able to work it out, or it was slightly unorthodox and funny. However, it was funny, which was nice, where you get some quirky solution like I had to tickle that guy's feet with a feather to get him to move out of the way. And I didn't have so many options or so many combinations of different spells or whatever to do that it would be very difficult to kind of guess it. You've only got so many items, you've got as many attempts as you like. Sometimes you're under a time pressure, so if you get it wrong you'll revert back and eventually you'll run out of possible solutions. And even if it takes you a few attempts, the game reverts right back to where you were if you fail. You can try as many things as you like and it won't take you very long. So I think the game creates a nice balance of being kind of interesting but not frustrating, which I think is really nice as well. Other than that, I really like the art style. It's funny, it's charming, it's amusing, it's a great little puzzle game. I recommend you pick it up, so I'm going to end this game there. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Please check out my colleague's review on the main website and check out the other videos we've got as well. My name's been Ben from GameRVW.com and I'll see you next time.